For sure.
Look at that. Look at that. Welcome, everybody. We are live with Noah Kalina. I'm Seth Werkheiser. We're from Social Media Escape Club, and we are going to talk all about the fun stuff, about the websites, about photography, about the internet, about Pizza Hut, technology, how we can't believe anything on our screens.
Yeah.
Welcome, Noah.
Thank you, Seth. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. There's too much going on right now.
How do these? You've probably seen the clips on YouTube of like the Twitch stream stuff where the chat is going and there's stuff over here, and I don't know how they do it.
I think you just have to tune it out.
Yeah. If we don't see something in the chat, it's because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on here.
Uh, It's so true, Seth. I mean, where do you want to go? Like, where should we take it? Do we start like with geopolitics, or are we keeping it more to like just art?
Let's bring it down a little more family oriented and keep it to Pizza Hut. This cool thing that you just did that you posted recently on Substack Notes of photographing an old school Pizza Hut here in Pennsylvania for the New York Times.
Yeah, I was thinking. I looked it up when I got the assignment how close I'd be to Cutstown,
Yep, you were
and
there. You were.
it,
It was a bit, yeah.
it was too far for me
All
to
good.
stop by and meet up in real life.
All good.
But yeah, that was about an hour and a half from where I live in New York,
Yeah.
and I had to go twice. I went twice. Uh, it was like a weather thing. It should have all happened on one day, but if people don't know, it just came out today, and maybe if you look on my Substack feed, I posted a link to it, but it was a article about a retro Pizza Hut, essentially, right? Like,
Yep.
that's what people call Pizza Hut classic. And it's a nostalgic thing that's happening. And I was so psyched to have gotten that assignment, which maybe what I can do is mention how that assignment even came about, which
Yeah.
kind of wraps up into like just literally everything that I've been working on lately. But um, I've, I've been super into vibe coding, right? Like just different websites for different projects that I have, just make project specific websites. And I made a website for all of my tear sheets of all of the times I've like been published as a photographer. And it was a 20-year record, and people want to check this out. It's just tears, tears.noahkalina.com. I haven't like put this out publicly yet. It's just a website that I've just been working on. But I sent it to a photo editor at the New York Times that I had been working with, and I had done an assignment with about 6 months ago. So I just sent her that, and just through doing that, I put my name in her head, and she was like, "I've got this assignment. It's an hour and a half from you. Do you want to do it? It's on a Pizza Hut in Pennsylvania." I can't even pronounce the name of that town. Tuggahonic.
Tunkhannock, I think.
Tunkhannock.
Tunkhannock, yeah.
And I was like, yes, this is the kind of news that I like to do and break. And, like, meanwhile, the previous story I'd done for her was like a Britney Spears super fan. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was just kind of, that's kind of the beat that this particular photo editor happens to be on, which is great because it's like the stuff that I like, which is the lighter side.
The family style decor.
Exactly. And that's what this story was essentially all about, right? Like, um, just remembering what life used to be like when it was good.
There was a quote in there of like someone that was like, "Look, the family's there and they're not on their phones."
Yeah. Um, it's true. It was such a sort of weird experience, and I liked it so much, especially the second time I went, which was to photograph this family that like brought their 5 kids. Was 2 sets of it was
Yeah.
friends, but they had 5 total kids, and the restaurant was like packed, and at like 5 or 6 p.m., and it was just like a really wholesome vibe, and it didn't feel like I don't it just didn't feel weird at all. It was like everyone was there just to eat Pizza Hut pizza on a Saturday night and enjoy it, and there is just something so particular about the taste of that
Mm.
pizza. It just it's an unforgettable flavor.
For sure, for sure. It's not like and I don't want to veer off into this, but it's not like the current day Reese's Pieces, which is a whole thing on the
Oh.
internet right now. There's a
Oh,
whole
I don't
bunch.
know about this one.
Okay, good. Yeah, we don't need to touch that. But yes, the Pizza Hut, absolutely its own. The memory of that is huge. I want to go back to the awesome point of you vibe coded a website. Here's the work I've done. As artists, we usually
Yeah,
have so much work that we sit on that like it's just there. But you put that together, and then you emailed someone directly a link
yeah,
to it, and boom.
yeah.
I mean, everyone's results may vary, of course, but like that click, click, click is like, yeah, and that's a big thing I talk about with Social Media Escape Club. Instead of posting on social media and hoping anyone sees it, directly emailing someone, nurturing our connections, like that can go so far as well.
Yeah, and it's one of these things where it doesn't feel like it needs to be a project that you put on the internet, on social media, or wherever, even
Mhm,
just like your newsletter, and if it feels like not a lot of people are seeing it, right?
mhm.
Like, it just needs to be sometimes the right person at the right time. So,
Yeah.
there is some luck involved, but at the end of the day, it is really just about, like, individual, connections
Mhm,
and, like, just reaching out. "Hey, check it out," Like, and
mhm.
it's the amount of people who ignore these things,
Of
it's
course.
99% essentially,
Mhm.
but every now and then, it's fishing. And you in some ways, you got to enjoy just being out there and being prepared to not catch anything.
Yes. Yeah, the fine art of reaching out and being, no reply is an answer. I see a lot of that on my side of things in the music world, from the editorial angle. Like I used to be an editor and I would get a whole bunch of emails like, check out my band, check out my band. You can't reply to everything. So yeah, to your point, like a lot of the stuff can't goes unanswered, but every now and again you get an email in your inbox. Oh, I haven't heard from Noah Kalina in a while. Here's this email. I'm going to open it and look what that led to. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And then, on top of all of that, I'm just a big fan of making websites now, and,
you are how many has it been now?
I think I have 5 or 6
Whew.
down project sites with more to come, and I don't know, this tool, and I use Claude Code, but it has just been like it this giant unlock for my creativity,
Mhm.
and mostly in service of it. It's like all of these pictures that just do not feel like they have a home anymore on the internet, like, of all of the sites we've been through that we over
Mhm.
for me, it's like it's 25 years on the internet, so it's
Yep.
like, I'm no stranger to seeing sites come and go and moving on or whatever, but now it really just feels like it's all scattered and blown up, and, like, there is no real one place anymore, but what does feel good is, like, your place, your home, your website,
Mhm.
my
Yep.
no for me, it's noahkalina.com, and then, like, I'm making subdomains off of that. Of course, I have, like, other o other domains that I've registered over the past 20 years that I have just sitting waiting.
Mhm.
It's funny, I've been paying for them yearly yearly, just, like,
Me
waiting
too. Yeah.
for a project
Yep.
to make for it, but I never really even knew how to do it. Maybe a landing page. Nothing is easier than a landing page now. So even
Right.
just, like, installing that, but something that's in your own design and, of course, hosted on your own server that, in many ways, I think, is ultimately cost effective.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I'm not paying for Squarespace or anything like that. It's, like,
Right.
literally self-hosted.
Yep.
Well, maybe technically not. this is a technical thing.
Well,
It's
you
not
pay for
self
hosting, right? You pay for web host. Yeah,
yeah.
cover.
But this has actually driven me into that kind of rabbit hole of, like, do I set up my own server now? Like
Ooh, like at home, right?
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
and, but then quickly you run into the, like, "Oh, no, that's not a good idea," for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just in some ways with the destruction of, like, social media as we know it, or at least the
Mhm.
change in it, like,
Yeah.
I think there's nothing better now than feeling like, "Oh, let's full circle back to our personal websites and, like,
Mhm.
make them interesting."
Ye Yeah, I get that question a lot of like, "Well, why should I make a personal website, like, if no one's gonna see it? Like, why would anyone come to it?" And I always think like, "Yeah, because we spent the last 15 years putting our best work on social media. Why would anyone go to our website?"
Yeah.
You know? So if we start putting our best, coolest stuff on our own website, it gives people a reason to go check it out.
Yeah, especially if you can design it in a way that,
Mhm.
like, works specifically for the kind of work you make. I think a lot of us have, like, we're basically putting work into templates that are like the platform templates.
Yep.
So it's and in many ways that's cool, like those Instagram, whatever, X, Threads, whatever, they're mediums in and of themselves. Like, so
Mhm.
you actually, like, are making work for those websites. You're not making work for yourself.
Mhm.
You're making work to be presented in the way that they want it, like, that they present it,
Yep.
which in some ways is fine, and many people can like, figure out how that works. But
Yep.
for a lot of us, and especially people who have been doing it for so long, like, it's gotten stale, I think,
Mhm.
and it's like it's like it's exhausting, and we see what the algorithms are doing to us, like, and how they treat our work. Well, it's just, like, very disrespectful. So this is, like, a way to feel good about my work, and
Yep.
anyone who's trying this, I think it would work.
And I think that's such a huge part of it to say, like, how you feel about it. Like, I think so often creative people, get almost as that feeling is like a weakness. Like, "No, I have to power through and I have to make videos on TikTok. I
Yeah.
hate it, it makes me feel
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
but I have to do it." And it's just like, "N no, let's
Yeah.
stop doing things that make us feel bad," right?
Oh, totally, and I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to, like, what is the goal? Like, what
Mm,
exactly are
yeah,
you trying to accomplish here? Like, do you need to do that because you're the social media manager of, like, some brand? Like, yeah, I mean, I guess in a sense, yeah, you
yeah,
do have
sure, yeah.
to do that. Um, but yeah, for personal artwork, um, it makes a lot of sense, especially right now, and especially with the tools that we have right now, to really try and anything else other than the social media platform. With that said, it is very hard if you don't have a built-in audience,
Mhm,
it is a struggle. Like, I can't even imagine, like, where do you even begin to get to, like, let people know who you are? Like,
mhm,
you in many ways, you do have to still use those sites, like, as just, I don't know, another store, another platform for your work to be potentially seen. But,
yeah,
um, which makes it difficult because how many things can we do at one time? That
mhm,
I think that's part of that struggle, right? Is like, "Oh, I have to post on Instagram, I have to post on Threads, like TikTok, whatever, like too many places." And to me, that never worked because I always thought of those places as their own particular platform, like mediums. So,
yeah,
like, work that I would put on Instagram doesn't really work on the other ones. I don't like the cross posting thing
yeah,
because you just like to see it it's in context. Like, what's above it? What's below it?
big time.
And that affects how people are gonna view the work. So, again, it goes down to, like, the personal website being, like, your home base, your, your s your safe space where it's, like, literally, like,
Yeah.
your home. You can do anything you want there, and that's kinda fun.
As far as safe space, it's funny, like, because you recently, right, had something go viral on Instagram Threads, right? A photo? That was in
I
October or something like that?
I mean, yeah, is it are you talking about the
The
dining room table
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that people thought
Yeah,
was
you mentioned that
potentially AI?
in one of your videos, yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, this I call that stuff, like, algorithmic virality, right?
Mhm.
Where it's, like, a whole bunch of people who never knew you even existed
Right,
10 minutes ago are being fed your pictures completely out of context.
right.
Like, they don't know the lore.
They don't.
Um,
They
so,
don't know who
you
you
know,
are,
they're just
right.
gonna respond to it on face value, on post value, right?
Mhm.
Like, whatever they're seeing in this thing is like, and they're gonna judge it based on
Yeah,
that alone, and, it's fun, but and it's weird, it's somewhat toxic in a way to have something going, like, viral, like, mini viral on one of these platforms now because you can't, like, step away from it.
mhm.
It's 'cause it's addictive to see, like, is this doing the number? You keep wanting to check back and see, but then also there's context collapse, and then you start
Yep,
seeing, like, awful people, like, remarking on it, and you're like, "That's not what this is about." Like, and it just, like, opens up this can of worms, and at the end of the day, it isn't even all that valuable
right.
to, like, your work and, potentially your career,
Mhm.
like, when
Yeah.
all is said and done, and then literally like a faucet, they turn it off, and, like, you'll go from, like, 1,000,000 views in, like, 24 hours, and then literally the next day it's gone,
Wild. Yeah.
and then you're just left with, like, some sort of pit and
Yeah,
undeserved ego, and
right.
it's
Because it's not your turn anymore. Tomorrow, someone else has to go viral.
yeah.
That has to happen to some other photographer or, other creative person. Yeah, it's wild how it works, and I like to think too of how you said about just, like, having an audience, having a built-in audience. We've both been online for a while, 25 years, 26 years, whatever it is now or longer, and yeah, to have that audience, but I also think, like, I think about the Twitter audience I had. I joined that site in 2006, and I literally only got, like, 18 people from that on my email list. Like,
Right.
it's not like, it's this big thing of, like, all these people on these different platforms don't always follow you to the one place, but
Yeah, that's always been really hard, and it feels weird too when if you have a lot of followers in one place and you're trying to bring them somewhere else,
Mhm.
and you realize you're, like, getting, like, 1% of them to come
Yeah.
over.
Yep.
I mean, I've been doing the newsletter for a couple of years, only a year or 2 on Substack, but I was doing it a few years before using Mailchimp. And it's funny 'cause every night before I'd send a new newsletter, this was a couple of years ago, I would post about it on my Instagram story,
Mhm.
and each time I'd get, like, 1 or 2 new subscribers, and it's funny, you always think it's like you've reached the maximum amount that you can actually ask people to, like, check it out again. You feel like a broken record,
Yeah.
it's kind of embarrassing, but every time I did it, I brought a couple more people over, and that always felt good and ultimately worth it,
Mhm.
even though it does hurt. It is somewhat painful to, like, keep having to, like, talk about this thing that you feel
Mhm.
like everyone should know about already. Like, how do you not know? How do you not know? How are you not subscribed? Come on.
It
Um,
y But to that, like, for most of us, we're not the center of anyone's universe.
yeah,
So, like,
I
I mean,
know. It's
we think you and I, all of us, we think about this stuff all day, and and you can mention something, and, like, I'll write it in my newsletter for 4 months straight, and then, like, by month 5, someone will be like, "Oh, you did that thing?" It's like, "Yeah, where were you?" Like, yeah, even people that open up our emails don't know everything that we're doing.
yeah,
They can't.
yeah, I know. It is true, but then at the same time, I don't know how good or valuable it is to continually say the same thing. I mean, it's it's tough because I always wanna move on. Like, I'm always
Yeah.
trying to move forward.
Yep.
Um, and in many ways, like, a lot of the projects I do aren't, like, monumental things, like, things that I've been working on for a year and that like, and I've never said anything, and now it's, like, press time,
Mhm.
like, and we wanna like, it's a full hype cycle or like, a promotion cycle. So, um so it's tough because meanwhile, you kinda have to be doing the, like, regular output sort of situation just to stay on top of the feeds in a
Mhm.
way, right?
Yeah.
Like, or else, like, you're determined, like, algorithmically invaluable.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. These are things that we think about all the time, just, like, grapple with in terms
Mm.
of, like, where do we put our work? Where do we put our work, and then to what end, and like to what results? Does any of it matter? And I don't know. Maybe not, but it does matter. This is why finally, and just back to the building of the websites, like I've been sending those to some friends, and um, I don't know if anyone gets it, or like trying to encourage people to try to make their own website. And a lot of them are like, well, what's the point? Like, no one goes to these websites anymore. And, like, only one person's going to see it, or like, and I'm like, for me, that's actually fine. Like, I don't like, because I enjoyed building this thing so much, like, in service of my work. And I feel like if only a handful of people see it and are inspired by it, like, I kind of believe in the butterfly effect in a
Mm.
sense where, like, if that just inspires another person to do something good and, like, enhances their life just a little bit,
Yeah.
like, through looking at my work, like, and being inspired by that, or even wanting to just try to do it themselves, like, that's success.
Total and again, like, oh, if only a few people see it. A person from the New York Times saw it, and then you got an assignment out of that. Like, what do you I mean, do you want a million people? I don't know, but, like, if the
I
right
know.
the right people see it, because you mentioned you sent it to a couple people, like, behind the scenes, and I know, Cody Cook Parrott talks about this of, like, in our creative work, our creative practice is, like, it's either it always seems like it's either no one sees it or, like, I put it out there for everyone to see. Like, "Okay, hit publish to everyone." And there's, like, never that, like, little small in between. Whereas, like, sending it to just a few people can be beneficial and, like, to get feedback from and to see where that goes. Like, I think there's such value in that as well. Or that only 10 people see it next month. Like, whatever, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's got anyone who works in the arts, or, like, got involved in the arts and has been doing it for, so any amount of time, but especially, like, for at least 5, like, if you have, like, a career doing it in some sense, like, you have to remember, like, why you even got into it in the first place. And for me, it was, like, literally just about having fun
Mm,
and, like, a good time, and, like, like, "Oh, what do you mean I get to go take pictures, like, for a job?" Like, it's not a job. It's like, this is what we used to do as kids, like, hanging out. Um, so yeah, I mean, with that being said, the world has changed in many ways,
mhm.
and just, like, how we consume these things now, um, it's difficult for a lot of us to grapple to grapple with this change, and this change that came on hard and fast. I
Mhm.
think within, since 2020, basically, it was, like, the real shift, obviously. So, um I don't it's adapting, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just working through it, and, like, these are just different phases,
Yeah.
right? Um,
I I kinda got my break with music blogs in the early 2000s, and, that's where, I kinda made my mark, and I didn't know it at the time, but became foundational for what I'm doing. But that shit's gone. Like, there's I mean, yeah, there's still people running sites, of course, but there's a whole lot less of them now, and there's a whole lot less of them
Are
making
you
waves in it.
you're talking about, like, music blogs? Like, people
Music
just
blogs, yeah,
yeah.
like old MP3 blogs.
Why is that gone, though? Like, are do you think people they don't wanna read about music? Like, what's the reason behind that?
I mean, so much of it now, to me, just feels like anyone can just click play on Spotify to if they like it or not. You know, because there was a time when we couldn't do that. There was a time when you couldn't hear the song or the track because everything wasn't on YouTube or everything wasn't, then Napster came along and then like, oh, now we have everything.
So
That kinda sped things along.
so you're saying, like, those blogs, like, fundamentally existed as, like, recommendation engines that people
Ye
use to then go out to a record store and, like,
there
pick pi
Yeah, I mean, it's Pitchfork, but, like, back in the early, 2000s, like, that thing, like, if you got a good review in that, you sold thousands of CDs,
right.
which then
I
put money into the
yeah, yeah,
artist's pockets, and that was awesome, but then, like, as we move along and then everything moved to social media and everything, like, then it started streaming where no one got paid anything, the editorial discernment became less and less needed. So everyone could just be like, "Oh, the new album's out. Let me hit play. Nah, I hate it. On to the next." But I know that there are people that do still love. I know many writers that are still doing their own things, whether newsletters or websites. Like they're still doing it, or people on YouTube doing what they do, the reaction channel stuff.
yeah,
Like hey, and they have an audience because they have those personalities. Like I care what this person has to say, which I think is what blogs were back in the day. Like you
yeah,
went there because you understood and liked how they presented things, and okay, I'm a fan of that. I'm going to follow that.
right. I do think reaction content where people watch and react in real time to things that they're watching is really compelling content. I'm no stranger to watching channels like that.
Yeah,
Um, and but yeah, I mean, they exist on the major platforms, right? And they're
yeah.
not like it's not a blog. But you saw, and
Anthony Fontano, whatever. He has a blog.
interesting. Yeah, I don't. I've never looked at that blog, but it's funny because this just got me thinking. Like, I literally made a show for my YouTube, a website for my YouTube videos that like just exists
Mhm.
as a website, not on YouTube. I
Yep.
mean, YouTube is serving them, but
Yeah.
like you can literally watch it all within my site. So I almost feel like, and I don't know, I feel like I've been seeing a little bit more of that where people are trying to like make their own channels
Yes.
essentially, like that are off platform. They
Mhm.
still use it and are still
Right.
connected to it, but feel like their place, their custom
A a
home.
Yeah, absolutely. I say that a lot, and I'll die on this hill of, like, for musicians, for artists, like, when you have a new music video out, all these bands, all these musicians, point everybody to YouTube. Go on YouTube, and you know what it's like when you're on YouTube. What do? You stay on YouTube.
Yeah,
And I'm always like, "No, put that on your own website.
yeah,
Premiere it on your website, right?" Because right below it, you have like, "Hey, buy our new album," or
yeah.
"Buy our
There's
new
so many
t-shirt."
places you can now put and just program in like
Y
exactly what you want.
What you want,
Yeah,
right? Like, "Oh, why are album sales down? Why do artists make no money?" Well, because 'cause you're pointing everybody to Spotify and YouTube because 'cause they're making money.
yeah.
Sorry, that's my I get hyped about that.
I know. Yeah, I mean, it is like the fundamental thing, that for creatives, like, um, how to host and display our work,
Mhm,
that said, and it's sort of an aside, it is remarkable the amount of data that YouTube is able to ingest and serve to people on
mhm,
every given day. I think it's one of the sort of modern miracles of the world right now, like a
mhm.
top 10 modern marvel.
Mm.
It, what do you
Ye
think of that?
Oh, absolutely. I don't the thanks, Derek. I saw the number of, like, Instagram is, like, 93,000,000 posts and videos go up every day on it.
Yeah,
And so, like, YouTube's even bigger than that. So they must I don't know
yeah.
what the number
I
is
mean,
there.
I could literally go and upload a, like, 20 gigabyte video in
Uh-huh.
4K
Yep.
for free, and this is why I was talking about, like, why self like, having a server at home and then hosting it, like,
Right.
and serving it to people, like, go fully off grid on the internet. Where it really just doesn't work anymore is when you start thinking about having to serve up video,
Oh,
which,
yeah. Yeah.
which again then just, like, just shows how remarkable, like, you know, this data serving
Mhm.
infrastructure is, and,
Yeah.
good things and bad,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And YouTube makes a ton of money from that, like,
they
from
yeah,
the ads on it and the premium users and all that, like, yeah, just to keep that going, like, the uptime and the massive server farms that are required and the electricity, uh-oh, talking about electricity and water. We're getting in some dicey area there.
yeah. Years ago, I did a project for Google, and I went to a number of their data centers.
Mhm.
It was called the Google Data Center Mural Project, and it's interesting because I don't think they continue to do this. We did 4, like, 3 in the US and 1 no, 2 in the US and 2 Europe
Wow.
in Europe, and, basically, they commissioned artists to, like, paint murals on the side of these giant data center walls, and it was very in theory, it's very cool, actually,
Mhm.
um, but while we were doing it, and it was pretty clear that these places not only existed way outside of town, but they also want no one getting anywhere near data centers. Like,
Sure.
it was
Yeah.
super secure locations. Like, there's security on literally every level.
Uh-huh.
So so I think they thought it was a good idea in theory at first, and then realized, like, they don't wanna attract people
Uh,
to come visit these places to see the murals, because, like, people wanna come see a mural, but they literally could not get to it because
mhm.
they're so locked up behind gates and
Yeah.
in industrial parks and fields way outside of town. Um, so
That and what year was that?
2018, I think, or
Wow.
16?
What a different world, right? Because like,
Yeah.
would that even happen today with all the talk of server farms and stuff right now?
Um, I think absolutely not. I'm gonna see if I just put this in the chat, like,
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
gonna data center
There it is.
murals.
Yeah.
So you see, like, and each data center has, like, a story behind it, and you see the murals and the artist. What was the it's this is kind of like a fascinating part of doing this, and I think all this technology at this point, being this old at this point, is completely obsolete. But when we would go into the server, like, onto the server floors, they literally taped our cameras shut,
Really?
and, like, they then had to review every photo taken to make sure nothing proprietary left the data center before giving it back to us with, as an all clear. Because essentially, like, just taking photos of a server rack
Mhm.
is a security risk. Like,
Right.
people could reverse engineer what was on the rack and potentially hack it, or at least that's how they explained it to us. Was is so yeah, no, in many ways, no one's really without, unless the story is very specific, like, no one's doing a project like this anymore,
Right.
like, especially with the new data farms, you
Yeah,
know?
technology is, it doesn't have a not in a great light these days.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they do need it's all about propaganda and,
Mhm.
sending, making having an agency make these brands cool, like, show off, like, why it is good, actually.
Yeah,
Um
right. Like, there's a lot of fun, cool stuff that we get to do on the internet. We get to do, live streams and post videos and all that kind of stuff and connect and, make all these cool connections. And unfortunately, there's that dark side that keeps popping up, that the enshittification of things, as Cory Doctorow says.
Yeah, well, that's a whole thing in and of itself, and,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, everything is shit now, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
everything's shit, everything's a scam. So, let's talk about the hotline show, because that's really, like that was my, foray, like, really into connecting with you, a year you started that a year ago, right? In February
It's
of
2
last
years, I
2
think
years, okay,
now.
time flies.
Yeah, yeah. How did you find it, by the way? Was that
Randomly on YouTube.
so it was just, like, served to
It
you as
was
a
yeah.
and that's how you came to know me?
Yeah, I mean, I knew you,
Right.
people know Noah, and, and I had a few friends that knew that spoke of you and this, Mike DeSutter,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
him?
Yeah.
Does
Great
the
designer. Yeah,
amazing, yeah.
artist.
He actually made, one of the designs of my music blog back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, super cool
Y
guy, super
yeah.
nice. Um, but yeah, so I kinda knew you, like, on the periphery, and then, like, yeah, I got that video and, I knew, of course, the daily video, I mean,
Right.
couple people saw that. Um, but then it was like, "Oh, wait, here," and it was just so fun because and this was the thing that I loved about YouTube and how you do it and how I love how other people do it was like, this is me doing it at my speed, my style, not trying to be Mr. Beast.
Right.
This is not another camera review channel that you joke about, and it was
Yeah.
just, like, your thing, and, like, if you just wanna talk a bit about how that came about and where it's gone and been and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. The Hotline show eventually it evolved out of just, like, wanting to make random videos for YouTube,
Mhm,
and so I was, like, doing other things where it was just stories like what I would do for my newsletter, just, like, something that I found interesting on any given day and just try to make a video about it, and then but people were calling, and I did find wanting asking questions, and I sort of just naturally evolved those kinds of things into it being like a show
mhm,
where there is a number people can call and leave a message and ask a question. Usually it's about photography, but it can be about anything. And like I just turned that into a weekly thing. And now it is in no way like popular. Like I'm lucky if I get 1,000 views on it, but like I have like a hardcore group that I feel like I make it for them. It's like,
mhm,
what I think is like probably like 400 to 500 people like
mhm,
are there for it.
yep,
And like that is just so cool. Like that's huge.
yep,
And in many ways like I don't even necessarily want it to be much bigger. Like the idea I see people who are like professional YouTubers or whatever and who have hundreds of thousands of views per video or something and I'm like I don't know. I mean, of course, obviously it's nice, right? Like the idea that like maybe I could get there, but in many ways, like this, it, to me, it works because it feels like way more intimate and it's way more rough around the edges. Like I don't, you know, I mean, I guess with the numbers, you end up spending more on production or something, but it's a full one man show at this point. So I'm editing,
mhm.
shoot, I don't really write anything. It just goes completely off the top of my head every week, um, for the most part. And then I edit it and do the music and all the shooting and, literally
Uh,
top to bottom. So it's just super indie, right? It's just, it's a fun thing that I do now because I kind of have the time to do it. It's like, and I've tried to make it like my job in a sense.
yeah,
It's part of my job. So that's like the baseline of what the Hotline Show is. And yeah, I mean, just like any sort of ongoing art project, it's evolving over time. And I'm like trying to change it and I'm trying to tweak it, like, and trying to figure out like what's working or what isn't working. And I definitely have better weeks than others. Like, I mean, this is totally a thing, right? Like, it's impossible to be good every
hmm.
week, every day, really. If I'm good
Doing your best, mm,
once a month, I'm good, like,
yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, that's the show, and, if people wanna check it out, you should like and subscribe. It apparently it does help.
Yeah,
Here's the thing I wanna talk to you about, though. Um, I get, like, cold emails from mostly what seem like scams, but some people do seem real, hard to know, but they wanna design thumbnails for my YouTube show
Okay.
because, um because I don't do, like, the traditional, like, YouTube thumbnail where it's like
Mhm.
a big smiley face or something and, like, graphics and letters and,
Yeah.
um, something exploding in the
Mhm.
background that, like, makes it, like, click worthy
Mhm.
because I think YouTube thumbnails are awful. Like, like, reject that aesthetic, um, and feel like, if this is going to harm my videos, which I think in some ways it does, because when I have done the fake versions of this, my views go up. But
I
I
remember that one where you're, like, smiling.
yeah,
You're,
exactly,
like,
the
fake
teeth.
smile.
If you put teeth in
Uh-huh.
a smile, I think adds 500 views to a YouTube
Yeah.
video. Um, but yeah, what do you think about the rejection of what is known as the sort of YouTube thumbnail aesthetic?
I think that, as artists, as creative people, I think there's a degree of, sure, there's some things that we have to do to kinda play the game, but there's just, I think, some parts that we don't, that have to be true to us. And maybe that's to our detriment, but I think it's more so
Yeah.
when then you see an overall body of work, which I saw how you put together your own little small site of it. And it was like, oh, look at this cohesive, like, this is definitely the hotline show. And I think sometimes you got to do that.
Okay.
You, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Does it hurt? But like, I don't. Again, though, like, who are you trying to attract? Because now, if all of a sudden you do get 10,000 views per episode, and it's like that that crowd, that new algorithmic crowd, like, that doesn't become not fun. You had that one. I mean, I'm sure you have more than one, but like that thing that happened on Instagram Threads or whatever. Ew, this is toxic. This sucks. Do you want that to happen every week on YouTube?
Yeah, no,
Mm.
of course not. I mean, I like to make the thumbnail something that this is where I come from it, where when I post it into Threads, I only use Threads. Oh, and I do Blue Sky too. Um, when it does the share card, the link
Mm,
when you post a link and it shows the image that embedded,
mhm,
like, I want that to be, like, an attractive image.
mhm,
And I just came across this the other day. I watched a video by some guy that I thought was really good, and I went to share it,
mhm.
and it was an awful
Ugh,
thumbnail, and it would have corrupted what the aesthetic of my feed because it was like his big face with the words. It was, and I didn't share it because I thought the thumbnail
yeah.
sucked as a like in the share situation. Like,
Mhm.
maybe on YouTube and when you're browsing it on your phone or on your TV or your computer, maybe that thumbnail works for that, but when you share it outside the platform, to me, it feels weird,
Yeah.
and, that's why I avoid it. I'm gonna put in the chat the website I made that pulls all of the videos,
Yeah.
um
With the API, right?
yeah,
Ooh.
Claude said, like, go to it was something like servers.goo. I did some hacking. I didn't even know what I was doing. It's a ghost in the machine
You were
essentially
Neo, basically,
telling
yeah.
me using me as a vector to push buttons. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
this website, hotline.noakalina.com, every thumbnail you're seeing here are the thumbnails from the videos. So they are just like images, not like thumbnails with text on them or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
So to me, they're just photographs that
Yep.
look good. Like, I like this website as just it's like a portfolio, I mean, but meanwhile, you can click on any of these
Mhm.
images and watch the video in my website too. It's not even sending you outside
Yeah.
of this site, which
Because and that increases the chance that you're gonna watch the next one next to it. Because like, on
maybe.
YouTube, what right, hopefully, maybe, but
Yeah.
because like, when you go to YouTube, what happens on the side rail or wherever is like, "Oh, watch this other video, watch this video." And so like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. So
There's in the chat, Stephanie just asks, "How did I make this?" And the answer is using Claude Code and basically just describing what I wanted
mhm,
and then iterating with it to help design this. Um, so that's really it. I mean, I had like in my mind, and if you go to, and I'm going to put it in the the chat here, tears.noahkalina.com, which is my tear sheet site. So it's a similar vibe where it's like it's thumbnail views, and then you click on the thumbnail and you go, you go a layer deeper. So I basically asked Claude to essentially copy another site that I designed, and um, and then it just made this. And
yep,
what's amazing about this is like literally every aspect of it can be changed. So as you can see, like under each thumbnail, it's the name of the show and the date. And if I wanted to, that text was feeling a little small at one point. So I was like, can we just make, and I literally say like, can you just make the text a little bigger?
mhm,
And then,
boop,
it is,
yep,
um, a and it's just things like that, like Hotline Show at the top left, like, that's red. I was just like, "Can you make that red?" Turns red, like magic. And, so literally every part, and what you can do is just, like, sketch out a design or just take a
mhm,
screenshot of a website that you like and be like, "This is basically the template I wanna work on," and then you just slowly iterate on that. And meanwhile, I was like, I want to pull all the videos from YouTube. This is my channel. And it instructed me how to connect a Google API that pulls all of this into the site. So now going forward, every time I update the YouTube, it will just automatically put the next one on this website.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That and that's what computers are supposed to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so, because I would have thought that that would have been a manual process. "Oh, got a new video, now I have to go over here and update it," but nope, API.
Yeah, I know. I even asked, I was like, "What's the difference?" One thing I was like, "Am I gonna get charged for this?" Like, I
Mm,
thought, like, maybe, because I know there are API limits for certain
mhm,
things that, no, apparently Google offers something like 10,000 API requests per day on this API, and just scrolling this site, it said it was like it would take, like it's like 8 tokens for 1 full,
okay.
pull of this site. So it was like you would need to have thousands of visitors for
Yeah,
this to hit the limit. And um and if it does hit the limit, it would just fail to show, and then it
yeah,
would restart the next day when
yeah.
your tokens refresh. So
Yeah, that's great though. And for the people that stumble upon it, like, people that you send it to and all that, like, it puts it right there in the context that you want it, and, probably the people you send it to and the people that will click there are gonna appreciate it and how it looks, so, yeah, it's cool.
I hope so. I mean, I appreciate it. So at the end,
Well,
that's what I like,
it starts with you, yeah, it's
yeah.
gotta start with you, it's gotta start with the artist, like, the stuff that you wanna do and how you wanna do it, it's because otherwise, like, I don't know, otherwise you're a cover band, otherwise not that there's anything wrong with cover bands, they make a lot of money, they make good money, I have friends in cover bands, but, like, if you wanna do your original thing, you gotta do it your way.
Yeah, and it's possible you fail. I mean,
Well,
there is like, this is one of those things like people working on like trending ideas. Someone called about this friend, Will Malone. I don't know if he's in the chat here, but like he asked about this a while ago, like using like trending audio, like
ooh,
on an Instagram post or something,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and to me, that's just so strange, like to want to use something that's like popular in the moment. I feel like if you're using something trending, you've missed the trend.
mm,
Like you have to start the trend yourself.
yeah.
So I reject that notion, but potentially to my own detriment in terms of
But
views.
or not, because like, I mean, the one of your recent videos, didn't you it was a was it Pucifer or something like that?
Pussifer, yeah, yeah.
Pucifer? Sure, I should know how to say it. But, but that was like, you know, you as you like you picked the song, you picked it, like, and how it went, and all that. Like, there's like the old music blogs. Like today,
Totally.
here's the thing we're talking about. Not like, oh, did you see what? So you know, I can't
Yeah.
find something to
Y
make fun of it.
yeah, music has always been difficult, for, like, a creator. I've had, like, a long,
Yeah,
like, history with, like, music rights and, like, who deserves more of the advertising cut, if you will, by using a song on these platforms, and,
yeah,
like, music takes e essentially everything. I mean, using that Puscifer song, which is a cover of Low, the band Low, and they have the rights. So that video was fully flagged, like, which is c but not copyright. It was just like, I can't monetize it.
right, right.
So which is fine, it's fine, although part of me has this, like, thorn in my side about music and on YouTube. It's a long
Yeah,
story, and
yeah,
we can't get into it.
yeah.
You might know it now, but, I have a long story about this,
Mm.
um, having to do with that everyday video, from 20 years ago. But, um and I will never let it go no matter what.
Yeah, 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 it's a big one.
Um, but, use it of course, that video did better than
Mm,
one of my normal videos, but it's, of course, simultaneously because I won't be able to monetize it, and the music takes all of the revenue that that
right.
video might make.
Can we talk though real quick? Talk about monetizing because I know like that's a big thing in the YouTube world. Like, oh, I get to this place for
Yeah,
enough that I can monetize, and
yeah,
then I always see people too like, I do all this work and I made 4 grand last year, which is not cool, great, but like it's so much work and like people sometimes just don't make a lot of money from it. But I use this as an example too. One of your videos that you did a while back where you sold prints, a limited
oh,
run of
yeah,
prints.
yeah,
And I remember that. You were like, "I'm gonna make 30 of them or something like that." I forget what it was. And then when they're gone, they're gone. And I remember they sold out in that video, and you only announced it on the video, and
yeah,
it sold out real q and I think it sold out at, like, 300 views,
yeah, totally,
which is like, maybe a video isn't monetized, but we can do things
for
with these
sure.
videos
Yeah.
to monetize, to make an income.
Yeah, I think for most normal people who aren't like the real true professional YouTubers, like YouTube is like a fantastic self-promotion platform, like
Mhm.
to just if you're selling something to make a video about it is just it's ideal. It's a little commercial for you.
Which and it was a great commercial too, because it
Yeah.
wasn't just like and we've all seen these like, "Hey, everybody, I have something for sale. Go here and click there." And it's just like, nah, we've all seen that. And it's like, I think you were
I made
and
a
which is why
an existential video about like,
you did
yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
Like, you had the phone call, like, "We just do this forever until we die." Like,
Yeah.
I'm really selling it. I'm really selling it, but, like, but it did well, and you sold out of the prints, and I think that's a creative way that we can do this stuff, so we're not constantly just saying, "Hey, everybody, look at my thing." We can just get really creative with how we get the word out about that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Mini commercials.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I really shouldn't even have monetization on my
Mm,
YouTube channels because it's literally pennies per video is what I might make because it's not high volume, but it's only because I feel like it's this thing I have about YouTube. I feel like they own me.
yeah.
So, and this is my own personal like what problem that I have with YouTube and like the whole system of monetizing videos on that platform. It is too bad because I know a lot of people end up bailing if they don't have YouTube Premium, and then a YouTube like a commercial pops up in the middle of my video. It's super annoying, and it like completely takes you out of the vibe of
Mhm.
the show. And maybe I do have Patreon. I don't know if when it's embedded in the Patreon, if the advertisements still show up.
I don't know.
Do you have you have premium,
I do have
right?
premium, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is the best subscription product, I think, on the internet. It really makes YouTube like a fun and valuable
Absolutely.
platform to consume media,
Mhm.
and when you watch YouTube without that, you do not like YouTube. It's the worst website.
Yeah, the
So,
pre-roll ads and then the
yeah,
middle of it, it's just like, "What is this?"
so
Yeah.
there's now a cheaper version too, like $7.99 a month. So if any, yeah,
Oh,
they just did a it has less features, but it
sure.
removes the ads, and
Whoa.
it is I think it is the one that's, to me, worth every penny. Like, I would get rid of every other streaming service and just pay for YouTube Premium.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. And real quick,
Yeah.
your other channel, Kalina Time, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The ambient.
the ambient video stuff
Yeah.
that, like, is amazing too. How's that been going?
It's good. I mean,
Cool.
it's fun. Oh, I've been working on a site for this.
Oh,
Actually,
ooh,
so right I'll put it in the chat so people can see, even though this is still like,
beta?
um,
Is it
it's basically beta, but so I'm calling it th I'm testing using the site, but this is river.lumber.land, and, like,
ooh,
basically, oh, during the pandemic, I took a photo of this view every day for a full year. This
huh,
this
yeah.
video of the river. Wait, is it, maybe this isn't the site. Um,
You have so many sites now, you can't
I
even
know
keep track.
I'm trying to they're use oh, if you're on a computer,
Mm.
you can, if you go up to the top right corner, you can click video, and
Ooh,
then it opens up the a video full screen, and you can then make this full screen your browser, like, it can take over your whole screen, and this is playing one of the ambient videos from YouTube, but just as, like, the wallpaper, essentially. Um, so, um, so so I wanna build, like, my own ambient channel
yeah,
that essentially will have thumbnails that you pick, and then you can, it still might be hosted on YouTube, but you
sure,
don't even have to go to YouTube, and then you can just pull this up and
yeah.
then go full screen with this
There's a
website.
lot of people do a lot of s I know a couple of the DJ sites or channels, they're starting to build their own websites and use the YouTube hosted videos on their
Totally,
site. Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
There's also ways to, like, build straight up apps that can be a TV app, I think.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
know Vimeo does it, because that website Dropout, that comedy,
Mhm.
channel, like, hosts their videos through, like, the sort of Vimeo enterprise or whatever, and then,
Yeah,
like,
yep.
but these are levels that we're obviously not at this moment, but hey,
Hey,
maybe in the future.
that's the
Um,
upgrade down the road, yeah. Well, and that's the wonderful thing, you've built these things and you have the code now in the matrix, and you can just move it other places if needed.
yeah, can I answer a few of these questions
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
chat? Because they're kind of fun technical
These are
questions that
good,
I think.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Diana saying, "How much do you pay in web hosting to have all these websites?" So I use DreamHost, and I think I have I think it's called a virtual server. It's like, but it's an independent server or whatever, mostly because, you know, I've always had noakalina.com, but I also have everyday.noakalina.com, which serves a lot of my daily photos. So I couldn't do a shared, like, a shared site. It didn't give me enough bandwidth on the server or whatever. I'm not super technical with this stuff. But with that said, I think it's like $150 for the year to have this server. And then within that, I have my domain name, and then I've been making subdomains. So I'm not even buying new domains. I'm just adding, archive.noakalina.com or tears.noakalina.com. They're not new domain names that I'm having to register and pay for. Um, so yeah, it's really only like $150 a year, and you get 30 gigs of storage with that, and then obviously the hosting and the email that comes with it too. There's other features.
It's not bad.
Stephanie, you asked about the domain names. Yeah, I mean, I do have, I have bedmounds.com, and I have lumber.land, which, if you go, like, There's also like weather.lumber.land. I love these new top level domains. I think they're so
Mhm.
fun to just not have um, a .com or something, but they can get pretty expensive, like 30, 40, $60 a year. And those are kind of a bummer if you're not using them to have to keep paying for. So, yeah, I kind of recommend like if you have your own personal domain, just figure out subdomains to play with as a good way.
You say you're not technical. I don't understand subdomains at all. I don't know how to set those up at all. So
Oh, well,
you are
maybe we should do a subdomain class. I mean, it's really it it's one of those things where once you do it once
Mhm.
on your web host,
Yep.
it's super easy to do. And but then of course you do need to be familiar with FTPs, like and how to move your files from your
Uh-huh.
computer.
I remember FTP, yeah. Yeah.
So it's just basically you work on these websites locally on your computer, and you can run tests like on your own local server. Claude helps spin this all up, and when
Mhm.
you're ready to like push it to the web, you just connect to your FTP, which you just get all that information. Your web host provides it, and you just sync them. It's just another folder. It's a cloud.
Mhm.
And once you put all those files on the cloud on your server,
Yep.
it's live on the internet once you've
Yep.
set up all the DNS and
Mm.
all the other things
Ye
associated
Oh,
with
oh, yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, that's the fun thing is and I'm doing an actual kinda focus pod later this month about how to make a simple website on with a notepad on your computer, and, like, doing that on your computer first, just testing it out.
Yeah.
And then that's the backbone of all of this.
Oh,
And
totally.
then,
It's
like
That's what's so interesting is when you start messing with this, especially when you if you didn't have a lot of knowledge, you realize, like, how sort of fundamentally basic the internet is, and really we just have things have been made easy for us to share our work through the social media platforms and whatever,
yeah.
and but when you start doing it yourself, you're like, "Oh, no, everyone should be doing it themselves." It's
Ye
so easy, and you're, like, touching the backbone of the internet. It's great.
yeah. Yeah, we back in the day, we did some real shit on the internet. We built stuff, we made stuff, and then,
Yeah.
yeah, to your point, like, it's so easy to just, upload a photo or a video on Twitter or Instagram, and a million people could see it that day. Whereas if you try to do that in WordPress, good luck. Like,
Oh, yeah,
that's
that to me is, like, I always would try, it's like, "Okay, time to build the website," my
right.
per and I'd people were like, "Try WordPress," and
Oh,
I
I
just
know.
couldn't figure it out, it's too complicated. And then even I even found sites like Squarespace to be too complicated for me because especially because I never really liked the templates that they had, like the basic templates, and I always wanted
Mm,
to edit them, but I could never edit them correctly or
mhm.
eh, like it never made sense to me. Fortunately, I've had friends of mine who built me custom CMS tools for me to update my website up until this point, but yeah, I mean, it's one of these things that, like, if you have, like, a pretty basic knowledge, yeah, uh, eh, you can you can figure this stuff out, especially if you are working with Claude Code and you're like, "I don't" you just have to tell it, like, "You don't
Mhm.
understand this thing,"
All the time.
and
Yep.
it will tell you.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
knows the sites, like, so I use DreamHost, so I'm like, "I don't know what I'm supposed to do on DreamHost here," and I send a screenshot, and it's like, "Click this button, click" you'll see it, like, it gives you the instructions, and it's just like, "Damn, like, thank you so much." It's really like a friend sitting next to you at your desk. Um, I'm just reading
I
the
know
chat here.
the chat's gotten hot. It's on fire now.
Um,
The, um, the Claude Code thing, to your point, yeah, like, I'm always taking screenshots of shit I mess up. Like, what the heck do I do now?"
yeah,
Oh, and then it'll be like, "Oh, you just do this." I'm like, No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, tell me what to click. What do I type here?" Like, yeah,
yeah, and it works, though,
it
once you
does.
yeah, for
It does. Um, yeah.
Diana, this is a great like mention about subdomains for a newsletter, this is one of the things on my list is I wanna have newsletter.noaklina.com that I might just redirect to the Substack, or maybe it'll host all the newsletters in its own page right there.
The newsletter spits out a RSS feed, so Claude
Interesting.
Code could probably pull the RSS feed and automatically upload it to your site maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll mess with that soon, but that's definitely a good way to do it. Thanks, Diana.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know how to make that. There's yeah, the newsletters, especially the Substack backend stuff, is super compli to me, it's super complicated and scary. I don't wanna touch any of it. But that's just me.
yeah, Stephanie, really, you just gotta I don't know if you use Claude, but, ask it
Mhm.
you can start as the most basic level with it and just tell it, like, "I'm a total novice. I don't know how any of this works. Please help me figure this out." And it'll start asking you the relevant questions to help you get there.
Yep,
And, it's just really helpful.
yep.
No, you just put me on. Well, yeah, um, y y you can start with Claude for by the way, I do not work for Claude. I do they did see one of my newsletters where I mentioned them, and I heard from a bunch of people there
Oh,
who
wow.
were really thankful that, I was talking about them publicly. I think, there's definitely a lot of AI hate, which is justified on many levels. Claude has always been the good one, though, the the good AI company, if there is going to
Mhm.
be a good one, and as we've seen in over the past week, that has turned out to be true. But, yeah, you can start with Claude for free,
Yep.
and I think they're running a deal now. It's half off now because everyone's moving from ChatGPT to Claude, which, again, I recommend that people do. They shouldn't use ChatGPT. I know you can get stuck in one of these things, like, not wanna move out of it, but you can export your old ChatGPT records and
Mhm.
import it into Claude, and
Yep.
so it kinda, starts learning your mind.
Yep.
But, yeah, you start with Claude for free, and then it can be 20 bucks a month,
Yep.
which, that is significant. So, it becomes one of these calculations where you have to feel like it is worth it for what you're working on.
Mhm.
That said, with for $20, I do a lot of website building in Cloud Code, and I will reach the limits. There are usage limits, but usually they refresh every couple of hours. So it's actually a good break. Like if I'm like cloud coding pretty hard and then I've reached the limit, it's like, okay, I can go take a walk
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Let me step away. Um,
You're living the hacker lifestyle, really.
it does feel like it.
Gotta get away.
Maybe one day I'll get paid for it.
Well, you are. You built that site, you sent it to someone, you got hired for a gig, and so it that paid for itself that month, right?
In some way,
Maybe.
it did. You're right. So it's not all negative.
Or is it? It's, um, let's end on that note.
Definitely. That was so much fun, Seth.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thanks for doing this. This is a lot of fun, a little peek inside of how you do the stuff that you do online and some of the history involved and stuff. It was really fun. I'm glad people got to see a bunch of that.
Definitely. Thank you, Diana. I'm
Sure.
driving. Uh,
It it
yeah, don't
it
be scared. Don't be scared of the AI. Just don't generate images. Like that sucks. Like that's obviously shit. Everyone knows that. This is a big problem that AI the that we have right now is a lot of people their only reference point for AI is like the shittiest AI generated
the
like
teddy
art.
bear saving a cat on Facebook or some
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
it's so much better than that, so
Yeah.
um
It's a tool, and there's a lot of tools, and a lot of these tools can do bad stuff, of course, and, yeah, I'm just try to do the right thing, I guess, so or whatever.
yeah,
Do whatever you gotta do. I don't know. So, alright, Noah, thanks. I'm glad again, thanks for the
yeah,
time, And yeah, if anyone came in late, replays will be available on my Substack and such.
Definitely.
And yeah, and then not on TikTok. We're not going to chop this. We joked that earlier that we're not going to chop this up for TikTok or anything. That's the
No.
thing that we're not going to do to our detriment.
Well
Like,
well, maybe a fan will.
yeah, right, right. That's a whole thing. That's a whole
That's
ecosystem.
that's how it really pops off.
Maybe someday, either of us can get to that level. And yeah, so cool.
Cool.
Everybody, thanks for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Go check out all of Noah's websites.
Definitely.
Have a great one.
Thanks,
We'll see you around.
bye,
Later,
everyone.
Noah. Bye. End live video.